Third trimester really threw a curveball at me, which, let's talk about it. Hi guys, welcome to today's video, which is all about my third trimester of this pregnancy. Welcome back to my channel if you are a subscriber, and if you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Jessica Chelsea and I do fashion, beauty, lifestyle content, and I'm currently very pregnant. And just off the bat, so that you know, if you are new here, I haven't shared my due date or like how exactly far along I am, and I also don't know the sex of this baby. We decided not to find out. It's going to be a surprise, and actually, like, the further along we've got through the pregnancy, the more and more happy we are with that decision. It just feels like such an exciting part of the whole labour process. It's making me excited to give birth, because I'm like, it feels like a personal treat for me that I go through that and then I get to find out if we're having a son or a daughter. I'll show you a bump update. Here they are. Don't mind my aircon machine here. We are large and in charge, extremely round, loving life. So if you've watched my other videos about the first and second trimesters, I'm just going to do it in the same way. I've been making like loads of random notes throughout, and I will update you as we like go through. It might be a bit scattered, but I'm sure you can forgive me given that I am very heavily pregnant. So the first thing I've got written down is that baby's kicks are wild now, every hour, and they're huge. I can feel rolls and hiccups, and Ben can feel baby like every single night without fail. It just, I don't know, their movements have changed the whole time since when I first could feel that they were moving. And you're told throughout pregnancy to like always be aware of your baby's like rhythm or patterns of movement, and so they should always like still be keeping to that pattern of movement, but the type of movements do change because baby's changing loads and your body's changing loads. And yeah, the third trimester was a wild shift in movements because they're running out of room, and yeah, suddenly being able to see like your whole belly change shape and like ripple has just been incredible. And I've said the whole way through, like, and I've said it to all the midwives at the appointments, I don't think I'll ever get used to it. Like, I thought it would become so like commonplace because you're feeling it all day every day, but it hasn't. Every time it happens I'm like, ah, and like I stop what I'm doing and I'm like, yes. And also that they're so big now that it's distracting. Like when I've been in appointments talking and then I can feel like my whole belly shifting, I realise I can't hear what you're saying anymore because I'm just focused on baby. But I love it. I think it's the most incredible, bizarre, unexplainable feeling. Like, you really can't describe it. The way I described it to my best friend, she was like, what does that even feel like? When I sent her a video of my belly like shifting, I said, it feels like there's a giant fish swimming around in there. Like, that's the best explanation I can come up with. Or like a fish, you know when like fish sort of hit the top of water? Like, that's like what it's like when they hit the top of my belly. That's the best explanation I could give. I've only gone back to not being able to eat as much in each sitting. Like, I can't eat a proper meal size again like in the first trimester, whereas the second trimester I could eat whatever again, and it was like normal, like pre-pregnancy. But yeah, I definitely have to go. I've had to gone back to like little and often, small amounts, more throughout the day, because the thing is, I'm just as hungry a lot of the time. Sometimes not, actually. I have had a few instances of real aversion to basically any food, and also like nausea. And I haven't been sick, but yeah, just a lot of first trimester vibes actually do come back in the third. Again, I think that not being able to eat much is just down to that you don't have any room. Like, my stomach doesn't have any room because baby's taking up all the room, so you just physically cannot eat as much. And my like reflux and heartburn in the night had gone down in the second trimester. That's gone back up, and because of how big bump is and how like I am just all at the front. Like it's the weirdest thing. Like I don't know, I didn't expect to carry like this. I don't know what I expected really, but I think because as well I'm bigger, I thought I'd probably put on weight everywhere, but I really am just like so out the front that my centre of gravity is definitely off. Like I feel super wobbly, but also like if I'm active, I've started getting like a little bit of lower back pain twinges, and it's nothing unbearable, but just I haven't had anything like that. I haven't felt any strain on my body from the pregnancy until late in the 3rd trimester, and now because of that I'm like, okay, yeah, if I'm really active, I can feel that now that I'm carrying all this extra weight out the front. More tired again. In the beginning of the 3rd trimester I was napping in the day again. I'm not again now, but yeah, I was having to have naps to catch up because just really tired again. And I think there was a time at the very beginning of the 3rd trimester where baby had a really big growth spurt again, which sort of showed on our scans. I know the scans are wildly inaccurate, but yeah, I could also tell that had happened because I didn't actually have any new stretch marks at all the whole pregnancy until I was like 33 weeks pregnant, 34 weeks pregnant, like right at the end. And then literally within a week I've got a lot of new ones, and it doesn't bother me at all. And I also always expected to have like stretch marks when I got pregnant because it's purely genetic. Like don't let anyone convince you that it's not, and that it's down to like their fitness and food or creams and oils that you need to spend your money on. It's not. It's genetic. And so the women in my family had stretch marks when they were pregnant, and I also already had stretch marks from when I first got fat. So I knew like that I was gonna have stretch marks, and it doesn't bother me. But yeah, just if you don't believe me, look up the science behind stretch marks and why they happen. And like the oils and the creams, don't get me wrong, I've used them because they do help with like the itchiness and discomfort that can sometimes come with them because your skin is literally being stretched. So I use it for that reason, because they do actually help with that, but they don't stop them. They don't, like if you see anyone that's pregnant and they don't have stretch marks and they try and say, well, I think it's because I use this, it's not. It's not. It's just luck of the draw. It's genetics. It is what it is. But yeah, I had none, and then just suddenly in a week loads of bright red new ones, which was wild. And I could tell that suddenly baby had a big growth spurt. Really cute thing that happened in the 3rd trimester is that baby started reacting to my cats. Like if my cats sit on me, and like they don't sit on my belly, but if they sit near me and they're purring, baby would kick loads, and then the cats would notice and like purr louder, or they put their paws on it, or Figaro started head bumping my bump, which made me cry the first time he did it, because it's just too cute. But yeah, like they're reacting to each other and it's wild. And I actually saw a thing on one of the pregnancy apps that said that like the cats can hear baby's heartbeat, which is wild, and that the baby will find the cat's purrs comforting when they get here because they've heard it in the womb. Amazing. The note that I put down was that the smell of chocolate is like crack to me. Like I enjoyed sniffing chocolate more than eating it. And cherry Coke. I just wanted Coke, like, and full fat Coke, which I've never in my life drunk. Like I've never ever I've been a Diet Coke girly if I'm ever gonna drink a fizzy drink my whole life, but in pregnancy and especially in the 3rd trimester, full fat Coke or cherry Coke is like all I want to drink all the time, which is funny because I hear so many people say that Coke is a big thing for them in their pregnancy, which I wonder why that is. But yeah, in the 3rd trimester for sure, turning in bed has become hard. Like just again around that time in the early 3rd trimester when I had that growth spurt, I suddenly could really feel the strain of trying to move all this extra weight. And like I think I've already explained this in one of these videos before, but like our bed is like a proper orthopedic mattress because of my lupus, and so it hugs you a bit, which is bloody phenomenal the rest of the time. But when you're heavily pregnant, it means I sort of get stuck. And I'm like, this is really hard. It's like an Olympic sport to turn in the night. Also obsessed with berries, strawberries, raspberries and blackberries, which I've loved strawberries and raspberries my whole life. But blackberries is just not something I've ever like wanted, gone for, enjoyed that much. But oh my God, I've been loving them in the 3rd trimester. I've had some leaky boobs. And I also did a hypnobirthing course, which was absolutely incredible. I don't know if I think I've touched on that already. But yes, loved it. It was amazing. Who ran it, who I did it with, was actually the midwife who had me at my booking in appointment, my first pregnancy appointment. And she's incredible. And the course was incredible. And yeah, just I really, really want to go into giving birth and labour as positively as I've sort of always felt about it. And it does feel different when you're actually here and you're pregnant and then as you get heavily pregnant. But I've never really been scared of giving birth or scared of going into labour or anxious about it at all. I've always believed like my body knows what it's doing. Women everywhere are doing it at the same time as you and have forever, and I just don't have a fear around it. And I've always felt like confident in my ability to do it and to handle it and to enjoy it. Like I've always, my friends have always said I'm weird for it, but I've always said like, I've not just always wanted kids, I've wanted to be pregnant and to give birth and go through that whole like rite of passage. And yeah, so hypnobirthing just really aligned with all of that for me and for us as a couple. And so doing that course just solidified everything I already felt and made me feel even more confident and empowered in my body. And yeah, it was great. I would recommend. In the 3rd trimester, we did, at the very beginning, we did do a 4D scan. It was just unreal. We saw baby smiling. We saw baby blowing kisses. Like, they were literally doing this. It was like wild. Hi, Cleo. Do you want to talk in the video? How do you feel about having a brother or sister? Should know, thanks. We saw them wave and kicking their little feet. Oh, it was honestly incredible. And we got like key rings of the scans, we got a video, we got photos, and we got their heartbeat put in a teddy bear that you can like press and hear, and it was amazing. Trimester, we've spent a lot of time getting the nursery ready. We had the room, like we fully cleared it out. Honestly, since we've lived in this house, it's been a box room, like as in all the boxes from when we moved have just been in there, and it's been a mess. And like I didn't even know there was a wall cupboard in there because from the moment I came to this house, Ben had already stacked all the boxes with the moving guys in front of it. I didn't know, so that was a revelation. It's actually a really great size wardrobe. But yeah, we had it, so we stripped it all completely, had it plastered, had new carpet laid, and we've decorated it and then done all the decor and like put all the furniture together. And like our friends and family came and helped us put baby's furniture together, which was really, really special and just like something I will never ever forget. It looks beautiful. It's obviously my favourite room in the house now, and I love just going in there. Makes me feel really connected to baby, and it's quite unreal actually to be in there and be like, this is going to be their room. Like, it's amazing. And it's funny because from the moment we moved in here, I called that room the nursery, because we just had said that will be baby's room when that happened. And yeah, it now is baby's nursery. I've got other cravings written down. So I've got chocolate has been like so on and off. I go through like a week where it's all I want to eat, and then 2 weeks where I can't stand the thought of it. McDonald's. I am not a McDonald's girly. Like it normally, honestly, gives me migraines and upsets my belly. So I don't ever really normally eat it. Like I haven't for years because of that. It just doesn't make me feel great. And actually, to be fair, when most of the time, I think when you get McDonald's, it's not great, is it? Like the chips are soggy and they're not salty and they don't put ice in your drink and the McFlurry machine's not working and your burgers are completely dry and flat, and I just don't love spending money on it and I don't enjoy it. Pregnancy, and particularly in the 3rd trimester, it's like all I want to eat. And again, that and Coke. I see so many pregnant women saying, I wonder what it is about that. But yeah, McDonald's, cherry Coke, chocolate pretzels, like chocolate covered pretzels, random, and toffee popcorn, you know, butter. Oh, I've got some in the cupboard. I now want to go and get it. Crumpets as well. And I've been having weird dreams and nightmares that came back again at the beginning, and that's not happening so much now, thank God, because it just disturbs your sleep, and you've got disturbed sleep enough. I also started having like that feeling of pressure down low again quite early on in the 3rd trimester, and it was because baby actually flipped and went head down quite early on, and obviously they can flip back at any point, but yeah, that was a new and wild sensation. I was actually driving and it happened, and I was like, I literally feel like I'm about to give birth. Like, what on earth? It's just not like anything else you've ever felt there. So yeah, that was crazy. At around 32 weeks, I did have a little scare. Not a massive one, but basically it was assumed that I was in preterm labour at 32 weeks, which is just wild. Basically, I've had Braxton Hicks since quite early on in the pregnancy, whenever I'm really active. And they're not painful, they're just, your stomach goes a bit hard and tight and then it passes again. It didn't bother me, I knew what they were, and it's perfectly normal to have them the whole way through, so that was all fine. But suddenly I was in pain, like I was having them and it was causing me pain and sometimes taking my breath away a bit. And I had some other symptoms as well along with that, and that I obviously wasn't sure about what was happening. And I called triage and was just like, because that's what you're told to do, and said like, this is what's happening. And they were like, yeah, you need to come in and be monitored because that sounds like preterm labour. And I was like, oh no. And we went in and baby was completely fine. I said the whole time, like, they're moving, they're normal, like it's me, I'm in pain. And it was really funny, not funny, because on the monitor, they're monitoring baby's heartbeat and my heartbeat and everything, but they were also monitoring full contractions. And this number was staying low at like 8, 9, 10 most of the time. And I couldn't really see the monitor the way that they had me laying on the monitor, but Ben could. And I went to him, oh, the pain's coming back. And he was like, Jesus Christ. And it had shot up to like 70 or something. It shot up, I can't really remember. I think it was about 70 something. It was really high. And I said, oh, well, yeah, that's funny. It's picking it up. I said, it must be just like a Braxton Hicks. And then I said, Google it, like, there was like a phrasing that said it. I said, I'm pretty sure that's monitoring full contractions. I said, but I'm not sure, so Google it. So he Googled it, and honestly, babe went grey. It was the sweetest thing, but he literally just looked at me and was like, I don't know, he couldn't get his words out. And I was like, just tell me, because now you're freaking me out. And I was like laughing, and then because I was laughing, the machine was going off. And he was like, this says that you're in like the last stage of labour. I was like, there's no way, that's impossible, shut up. And I thought he was winding me up, and he showed me his phone, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, there's this thing that tells you the levels of like what type of contraction or what part of labour they think you're in versus a Braxton Hicks on the monitors. And yeah, I was having very strong contractions basically, but I only had like 2, maybe 3 in the whole time I was on the monitor, and I was on it a while, obviously, because they really wanted a lot of info. And so because of that, we were there for like 7 hours at the hospital. Because of that, I had to then have like the full check to see if you're in preterm labour, where they use like a speculum, and they take swabs and they test everything and see if your waters have gone and all these other things. Because they were like, yeah, that you're having strong contractions. And I was just like, okay. Okay. And Ben was like, so we could just like leave tomorrow with a baby, like we could just become parents now, like we're like at 32 weeks. And I was like, yep, I know. I just kept giggling, because I think I was just like, if it's happening, it's happening. Like I can't do anything to stop it. Like we're in the right place, we're doing the right thing. Like it came out of nowhere. Anyway, I did all the tests, and they were like, no, you're not in preterm labour, because they do like a calculation from all the tests they take from you, and they were like, the chances of you having baby in this week and for the next 4 weeks was like 0.4%. And yeah, they couldn't really give me an answer as to what they thought was happening with the contractions. They were just like, think it's just sort of a freak pregnancy thing, possibly like practice contractions, like your body's just like getting ready. And I had said, like, I've been super active all week. Is it that? Like, have I overdone it? And they were like, could be. They tested me for like loads of infections and other issues that could be causing it, and nothing, everything was clean. I was totally healthy. So yeah, it was just random. I just had to go home and basically be on bed rest. They were like, just rest as much as possible, like, please chill out. So I did, and it got better over the next week or two, and then I went back to feeling normal again. It was really random. Pregnancy is wild. In the 3rd trimester was the first time I felt toes or fingers for the first time. I'm a bit more further along, and like I'm even more used to everything with baby. I'm pretty certain it was toes, but it was wild. They were pushing, and I put my hand there, and then I was like, I can actually feel like little toes. Like, it was incredible. With, like I said, about getting a little bit of back pain if I'm too active. Also, if I'm too active, I start getting a little bit of coccyx pain. And like if I'm sat on any harder surface for too long, so like at hospital appointments, if it's busy and I'm in the waiting room for a long time, most of the time I stand now, because if I'm sat on there like hard, crappy chairs, then I can feel it in my coccyx. And again, I've brought that up and I've been told that's totally normal. It's the amount of weight that you're putting there, and yeah. Another staple of 3rd trimester has been slushies. And I've been loving brown bread sandwiches with ham and brown sauce. Yum. Just yum. I might actually have that for my lunch today. I'm going to have that for my lunch today. And I do have vegan ham, just my preference. The corn smoky vegan ham. Love it. Another random bout, which was around 37 weeks, where where had we been? We'd been out. It'd been a pretty full-on day. I think we'd been at the hospital and everything, and then we decided to go to the cinema, and we saw Oppenheimer, and I felt like great. I'd been feeling great since the debacle of 32 weeks with the preterm labour scare. I'd been feeling perfectly great and normal again, and then yeah, suddenly we left the cinema, we were in the car, and I just got this, it literally felt like someone stabbed me in my back, like my mid-back, but on the right side, like almost exactly where my waist is really, but in my back. And I was like, what on earth is that? And we pulled over, we pulled over because I was like, I have to actually get up and stand up, this is so bad. I got up, and after about 10 minutes it went. But then for the next few days, it kept doing that, like regularly, and it was severe pain. And again, I brought it up with my doctors and nurses, and they were just like, it's probably baby on a nerve, or just like lack of room in there, or they're leaning against something they shouldn't be. They weren't fussed at all and weren't alarmed. I did actually also, I think, did I call triage? I think I did. And again, they were not alarmed because it didn't have any of the other symptoms of anything. Just this random pain just came. And the thing is, with both the preterm labour thing and this, the reason why I was on high alert was because, like I said, I've gone through this whole pregnancy and it's been really easy on me and really blissful, and I like haven't had any pain or discomfort the whole time really. And so to suddenly have like such intense stuff come out of nowhere was obviously alarming to me. And I was like, what's happening? Yeah, they were all just like, it's just late pregnancy tings, and that's just what it is. And yeah, since then it's gone again. So like but just that is what happened. Let's get to the biggest event of the 3rd trimester so far. Yeah. I had a curveball thrown at me, let's just put it that way. I, at 38 weeks, came downstairs, it was a normal day, I went in the bathroom, I brushed my teeth, washed my face, I was walking over across the bathroom. I hadn't been in the shower or anything, I was walking across the bathroom to get my face towel to dry my face, and I'd knocked something into the bath, like off the edge of the side of the sink, and so I got my towel, dried my face, and then I leant this way to like get it out of the bath, and I fell. And I fell so badly. I can't even tell you how horrific it was. Like, I'm genuinely a bit traumatized. I fell like that, and like my feet just went from under me, but I landed with my whole right side slamming into the top edge of my bath, so like literally, and then like bounced onto the floor, and the noise that came out of me was like nothing I've ever heard a human do. I scared the life out of my cats. I felt awful all day because I opened the door. I like sprung up out of just sheer, I think, shock and adrenaline, and like panic over, is baby okay? Because I'd slammed my belly. And the noise I was making, yeah, they just looked terrified. They'd both gone low to the ground. Their tails had gone all floofy. They ran away from me. I felt awful. I called Ben, and I was literally sobbing. Like, it was absolutely horrific. It honestly, instantly I was like, I've broken something. Like, it's that intense. And obviously my main concern was, is baby okay? Like, I have to get to hospital. Ben came straight home from work. My parents stayed on the phone with me on and off whilst I was waiting for Ben to get back. He didn't take that long because it was early in the morning, and yeah, we went straight over there. Baby was absolutely fine, like, thank God. Everything, again, I went on the monitor. They did loads of checks, loads of tests. Everything was fine. But they suspect I've cracked a rib. Not what you want at this stage in the game, at this late on in pregnancy. A cracked rib is just not what anyone would want, obviously. But it happened, and it happened so quick. I honestly couldn't have... I kept saying to everyone, like, there was nothing even around for me to grab to, like, try and stop myself falling. But honestly, when you're this big and pregnant and your centre of gravity is off, and I probably wouldn't have been able to anyway, do you know what I mean? It just happened so quick, and yeah, baby was absolutely fine. They're completely fine. I also went for an extra scan to check on them, even though they'd already said, we're pretty certain everything's fine with baby, but just to reassure you and us, like, let's also go look inside. And yeah, baby's great, but mummy has cracked a rib. It's just unreal. And I kept crying out of sheer frustration of, like, I kept saying to Ben, I'm so mad. Like, how have I gone this whole pregnancy and had it be so easy and so blissful and enjoyable, and I've loved it and, like, no problems whatsoever, and then at this last hurdle I'm gonna fall and break a bloody rib. What are the chances? Like, I'm so annoyed. And obviously, like, I had to bring up discussions about my birth plan and my birth preferences, and, like, because I have said the whole time I don't really want any pain relief, but, like, labouring with a broken rib is obviously a very different situation than labouring in a healthy, fit body. So yeah, I had those discussions with the doctors and the midwives, and just, I've been again on bed rest, and today I'm finally starting to feel a little bit better. I can now get myself, like, in and out of bed on my own. Genuinely, like, Ben stayed home with me for 4 days, I think, immediately after it happened, because I could not move without help. Couldn't get up or down. Couldn't get myself dressed. Couldn't shower. Like, he's helped me with everything. It's just the pain I can't even explain. And, like, honestly, I cried every single night in the night when I had to get up to go for a wee, because also it's not just like having a broken rib when you're not heavily pregnant. I'm still heavily pregnant, so, like, I have to get up in the night to wee, and I could not get comfortable in bed. Like, the sleep has been the worst part, actually. The days have been bad, but the nights have been 10 million times worse, because I'm sleeping for like 2 hours, and then I'm up for 2 hours, and then I'm sleeping for 2 hours. It's just not great. But yeah, Ben, like, helping me up in the night and then getting back into bed, it was making me cry from the pain. It's been very intense. I'm starting to feel way more positive now, because I'm starting to feel so much better. I've just been, the only thing that we could do was rest, paracetamol, and ice my ribs, because also I say they suspect a broken rib. It's not confirmed, because they were like, the only way we'll know is with an x-ray. There's risk to baby with x-rays of birth defects and stuff, they said to me. And even if it is broken, because I said, okay, but if it is broken, what can you do for me anyway? And she was like, yeah, we can't do anything. So to me, I was like sat there, I'd already been in hospital all day, and I was like, I'm just going to have to wait hours down the hall for an x-ray in these uncomfortable chairs when I'm in absolute agony, just to find out it is broken and you can't do anything anyway, or it isn't broken, I'm still in the same amount of pain. Like, I didn't see the point. And she was like, the only other thing we can offer you is if you stay for a couple of nights, to stay and have morphine, and I didn't want that, so it was just home, paracetamol, bed rest, ice, and that has been my life for over a week. And yeah, it's a lot more bearable now. It's still there, don't get me wrong, obviously. It'll probably be here still when baby arrives. But it was unbearable, and it's not now. So I'm grateful for any improvements. Any. But yeah, that has been the biggest spanner in the works of this whole pregnancy. And it's been really, really difficult. And difficult mentally, because suddenly I was facing, like, what on earth will labour be like with this? And how will it change me being able to, like, look after a newborn when I can't even, like, get myself dressed or get myself out of bed, and I didn't know how long it was going to stay that bad for. And just obviously then not sleeping and not ever being comfortable and being in that level of high pain. It was just a lot. I'm happy that I've come out the other side of it a bit, and it's been wild to say the least. The upside, we've done a big deep clean of the house, which feels incredible. Everything is ready. Our hospital bags are all ready. The snoo is set up next to our bed, like the bassinet is next to our bed. The steriliser station's done, ready in the kitchen. The pram and the car seat, everything is ready to go. Baby's room is all stocked, nappies, everything. Like, we're there, we're ready. And it's crazy because we do keep saying, like, how are we still having moments this late on, and when I'm this big and, like, clearly pregnant in every way, that I'm still sometimes like, it doesn't compute that this is going to be a real, like, human child that's our son or daughter, that we're going to bring. Like, it's insane. But actually everyone I've spoken to has said that they felt like that too. Yeah. Now I just really want to relax and enjoy myself. Like, we've got a lot of fun things planned this weekend, which I'm really excited about, with our family and friends, just because I want to get some oxytocin flowing, get in a more positive mindset after the fall and the injury, and yeah, just really enjoy our time as well as a couple before we're no longer just a twosome. Like, me and Ben have been together 18 years, so all we've ever known is just the two of us, and as much as this was planned for and wanted more than I can express, it is weird to think, oh my god, it'll never just be the two of us again. So we're just really trying to cherish this time together, really, which is nice. Yeah, it's a bit of a different video than my first and second trimester videos because they were so easy, but I do genuinely still feel like I have had it easy even with this injury and those couple of little blips. Like, to only have a couple of little blips for a whole pregnancy, I feel like it's pretty good going. I still feel incredibly lucky, and I still am not at that point where I'm like, get this baby out of me, I'm miserable. And so I count myself really lucky for that too, because I know most women do get to that point, and that must be so exhausting and draining mentally. And I might still get there. Like, I might still get there. As I'm filming this, I am 39 weeks pregnant today. So who knows, I might still get there. But at the moment, I don't feel that way. I'm still very much enjoying being pregnant, even with this bloody injury. And especially now that it's getting easier every day. I'm going to miss being pregnant. I just know I am. I'm going to really miss being pregnant. It's been such a special time. This year has flown by. Everyone warned me how quick it would go, but I didn't comprehend. But it has disappeared into thin air. But yeah, it's weird to be making this, knowing that there's not another one to make. Like, next time I do like an update like this, it will be about baby. So if I do that at all. So yeah, mad. My whole life's about to change forever. It's just the most amazing and most wild feeling in the world. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like and do subscribe. I would love to have you here. that's it. I'm going to go and have my brown bread, vegan ham, brown sauce sandwich and some popcorn, because talking about that has made me want it. Yeah, I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video.